How you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
You good?
I'm
Cool,
good.
cool.
I'm
Looking
very
fresh.
excited. Thank you.
Hey, look at that.
I was like, what do I wear? I called up Shab and Chindi. I'm like, yo, give me some unreleased shabab. Let me.
Oh, no way.
I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then I think everyone woke up so late. So.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Buckle Up. With me today is who I considered one of the best content makers that we have in Arabia, not only in Dubai. Someone with an incredible vision. Someone, if you just take a look at his Instagram, you will love it. You'll hit that follow button. If you meet him, you'll go like, this guy is creative. And once you get to know him even more, which we're trying to do in this episode, I'm sure you'll also respect and love this guy. We got with us Aqib Anwar. What's up, man? Assalamu alaikum. What's up, brother? You good?
I'm just honored to be here, and that introduction was...
oh, no, man. That's just,
don't make me tear up like right from the
it's
start.
the truth. I think anyone that knows you would agree. You ready for Buckle Up?
I am.
Now,
We can buckle up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, perfect. Okay, so Aqib is a true gentleman. He got me this coconut water. Tell me more about that.
Well, I mean, I've been working out of D3 a lot, and I've seen this one guy. I think he's from Sri Lanka or India, I'm not sure. And I saw how passionate he was about launching this. And when I finally did try it, I was like, wow, this is incredible. But when I saw that it was pink in color, I'm like, what is added to it?
Yeah.
And apparently that is what happens to coconut water when you leave it fresh, untouched.
Really?
And it tastes amazing. I want you to try it.
We'll definitely try it.
Yeah.
We'll definitely try it. We're in D3 now. What does D3 mean to you? Like, how amazing is that place?
D3?
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's a place that brings all of us together.
True.
It is a place where I know, like, at any given evening, if I want to come and just like.
Do you get inspired here a lot?
I wouldn't say inspired by the location per se, but inspired by the people that you get to meet. Everyone is on it. Everyone is trying to do something. Everyone is trying to think of the next thing that they can bring to Dubai. And I think it's nice to be a part of it.
Agreed. So listen, thanks for your time, man, for coming on Buckle Up. First thing is first. I know for a fact that you quit your job about a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago?
A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
2016.
I'm really interested in what led you to that. Because that's not, like, I respect people like you, because quitting your job to follow your passion is not something easy. Like, we all have lives, we got to put, money on the table. Take me through the whole thing, your process, what made you decide when you quit, like everything.
Okay, you have to backtrack a lot for this. So I studied economics in university back in India. Okay. And once I was done with that, my dad offered to start a business for me. I mean, it's the business that he runs in Dubai. And he said, if I have my family to take care of it, then we can get distributorship for this mattress company, which is the business that he does over here. Okay. And I, by nature, I'm very lazy. So
we don't see that.
You don't see that, but I'm a very lazy person. Okay. So for me, it was like, okay, I don't have to go for campus interviews.
Well, that work made you maybe lazy, but in other work, I don't see you lazy at all. I disagree with that. I don't know about that. I'm just, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I don't have to look for a job. I have a business coming to me. Yeah. So I'll do it. It's easy. And at the time, I was very comfortable in India. I liked my friends. I had a good set of people. So I didn't want to move. So I said, I'll do it.
You're born and raised here. I mean, sorry,
born and raised in Dubai.
And then you moved a little bit to India.
And in 2003, the whole family moved back, and then 2014, I came back. Mm-hmm. So I took up that business, and I did that for about 4 years, where I had to meet with just retailers who would sell mattresses. Okay. And that was my life. But these guys were like 40, 50 years old. They were happy just sitting in a shop selling mattresses. And I'm like, yo, like I have these luxury mattresses. And every day I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Man. And then I opened a retail store. And finally one day, like, it was nice. It was a huge accomplishment, because my dad gave me very little money, and he said, I want you to open a flagship store for this in Chennai. And you were able to do it? And I was able to do it. I collaborated with my cousin, who was an architect, and we came up with something really nice. And then one day, it started going well. I would sit in the shop, because they say, you get the barakah if you sit in the store. Yeah. So I would be there, but there was nothing happening. So I'd be on YouTube just whiling away my time. I then diversified into like wallpapers and artificial grass, because like, just mattresses is not enough. But it wasn't me, But I mean, you were trying to be creative in your field. Yeah, I mean, I had to make it work, because you had the advent of the internet back in 2014, 2013. And I was like, okay, this is what's happening around the world. How do I make something cool? I tried to make research about it and stuff. stuff.
Right.
And then I had my friend's mum, who is a very loyal customer. She loved everything that I did with the store. She came one day and she was like, I love that you got wallpapers, but I think you really have to get into like vinyl art that you can just... And as she was talking, I zoned out and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like,
At that point, you still remember?
I still remember. That's when I
Wow.
zoned out and I was like, this is not what I want to do in life. I'm 23 years old at that point, and I was like, I don't want this. I really don't want this. And then
Wow.
a few more years of stagnant life in Chennai, where nothing really happens, and I was very comfortable. And then my parents were like, why don't you move to Dubai, start your career? You're clearly not into selling mattresses.
They noticed that?
They noticed. And a bunch of other things happened that I wouldn't want to share.
Okay.
And so they were like, why don't you come to Dubai? You can live with us rent free, don't worry about anything, start your career, work in a multinational company, whatever. So growing up as an Indian Muslim kid, you're never thought of being a creative. You're never told that, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Or at least from the family that we came from, it wasn't a thing.
You mean like a
making a career out of creativity? Like I never thought at one point that I was a creative person. My whole life I felt and I projected for myself the life that my dad had, which is...
I don't want to cut your train of thoughts, but is that because of the situation you were in, or this is what you were subjected to?
It's just how my whole family, in terms of my uncles from my mom's side, dad's side, cousins, that's the life that they lived.
And by the way, you're not really, Arabs are not really, like, it's not far, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know.
We have the same
mentality.
Same mentality, you know? Yeah.
So it wasn't a scenario where they were like, oh, you're good at this, you should pursue it. You just think that, okay, I'm going to finish university and I'm going to get a job. It's going to be hopefully in a multinational company. Hopefully I'll get to travel the world here and there on training programs. And then you get married and then you have children and that's it.
Wow. Yeah, you can pick it up.
No, I can't.
No? Okay.
I just noticed that in every buckle up with Big House, someone gets a call.
Yeah,
always.
I know. I get
like,
people
I don't
at
want
like
that to happen.
2:30
So I put it on
p.m.
silent and this vibration wouldn't stop.
It's all good.
So looking back, I realized that I was a creative person. Like, I used to write poems. I used to sketch.
But man, what you're saying is very kind of inspiring in a way, because you're saying that, yani, subhanAllah, you're surrounding in the family. You felt that you weren't supposed to be a creative, but your internal feelings were telling you, everything was about you, was telling you that, you know, you want to pursue that.
No, the opposite.
Okay.
The opposite. Nothing in me told me that I should pursue it.
Nothing in you told you?
Because of the conditioning, because of the nurture.
What happened? Do you think the trip to Dubai helped?
No, so when I moved back to Dubai, then I got a job in the same company that my dad used to work in when I was born.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, it's the same path. Like, you know, hopefully I'm gonna be just like my dad.
Yeah.
But one thing that I knew growing up was like, no matter what I did, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be at the top. But when I joined this job, it's a Lebanese company, and so when you start off, everyone starts off at the same level.
Is it advertising or is it?
It was sales, and
okay.
it's mainly sales.
Okay.
For FMCG, consumer goods.
Okay.
So my job would be to go to supermarkets, and when I started, they put me in supermarkets in Dubai and Dera that people haven't gone in ages. So my job was to go there and be like, okay, you only have 2 shelves for Pringles. I need a whole block.
Wow.
So this was my job. This is what I started with. And then slowly, they gave me better areas. They gave me Jumeirah, they gave me Dubai Mall, and it was nice. But I would always look around, and because I was always out in the field, you see people living a good life. You see fancy cars, and you see people at the top of their game in Dubai. And I'm like, if I'm getting the salary that I'm getting now, and if it's going to take me 10 years to be a national sales manager to earn like something that I would be happy with, like I'm not down for this, you know. It's gonna take too long. So when you get into the system, they keep you there, and then after like a couple of years, they might give you a promotion. Then you're stuck in.
But it's good that you know that this was the system. A lot of people, you know, maybe I was even one of them. I felt like, you know,
it's just the way it is.
Yeah. But it's nice that you figured out that that's a system and you needed to get out.
Yeah, because I would look around and I'm like, how are these people so wealthy? Like every other car is a fancy car. Not that I want fancy cars, and not that I'm really into material goods.
Yeah.
But
you were just curious.
There's no way that this is the kind of money everyone's making. It has to be more than this. So I would always think when I went to these jobs, I'm like, what can I start? What business can I start that can help everyone? That would make everyone want my service or my business. How do I get rich? And I was never thinking, how can I use my creativity? But I was like, I need to be more successful than I am doing this job.
Wow. Do you still remember that moment or the night when you decided you want to quit? Like,
No, it was a long process.
it was like a period.
It was a period that I went
It
through.
wasn't like just a day coming in, I quit.
No, of
next
course
day.
not. Of course not.
Okay.
That's silly.
'Cause, no, I love that you said that, because there's a lot of so-called inspiring people out there. I quit my job, and then how do you live? How do you?
No way. And
you
I
gotta
would never
study it a
recommend
little.
that. And that's
Okay.
That's what I'm being more careful moving forward with my Instagram and my channels. I'm not like everyone can set your mind to anything and you can do it. No, there are a lot of things that worked for me. That there are a lot of privileges that I had that enabled me to do that.
That other people might not have, and
That
so
might not
on
have.
and so forth. Yeah.
So you can't have a blanket statement where like put your mind to it, believe in it, manifest it, and it will happen. Yes, of course, like hard work is important, but you need to look at the variables. For
Right.
example, I still do live with my parents. My rent that I contribute at home is much less than if I just had to get my own place.
Alone. Which is a blessing. Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
a blessing.
yeah.
I didn't have to think of where my next meal is going to come from because my mom's an amazing cook.
Bless her.
So I didn't have to think about all of these things, and then I had the privilege of having a job that gave me a salary that got me to buy my car, which enabled me to explore, that gave me the salary to buy my first camera, to buy better lenses, to buy a drone. So if I didn't have all of that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I can't say, screw the corporate world, screw the job. I
Sure.
can't,
How long would the process say? Like it took? Is it like 6 months, 3 months, 1 year?
So for me, I think it was a total of about 1 year.
Okay.
It started off with an Instagram meet that I went for.
Yeah, I heard about that. Tell me about that. You want it lower?
I was freezing a bit. but
Yeah,
it's fine.
it's okay.
Yeah, so
It's an Instagram meet.
An Instagram
So
meet.
Instagram meet is what is organized by Instagram itself, or
No,
it's
just by people passionate in the community. So
okay.
there's one guy called Harold Herrera. Shouts out Harold if
Shout
you're
out to
watching
him.
this. He was someone back in the day. This is 2015.
Yeah.
That would try to organize a community of people who would go on photo walks, who would meet, take pictures, walk around, have food together. The first time I came across Harold's page was when Instagram featured him.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, there's someone into photography in Dubai. I must follow this guy. But I wasn't really into photography as much as I am now. But I liked it. I always liked it. I used to take pictures with my phone and I try to like frame it nice. So he would organize a lot of these meets. And I would think to myself, and this was when I was in that Lebanese company, my lifestyle was like a Lebanese boy,
Oh, wow.
which is basically
Yeah.
you work and then you live for the weekends. I'm not
Yes.
saying everyone though, but you live for the weekends, party, techno.
yeah.
That's the kind of life that I had.
Gotcha.
And so when I looked at his Insta meets, I was like, what a bunch of losers. Like, who would want to wake up at 6 in the morning
Wow.
and meet up with strangers and take pictures? These guys have no life. Like, I'm not going. So I skipped,
You skipped that. Okay.
I skipped, I think, like 5-6 different Insta meets. And then there was one with Level Shoes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And like I mentioned, I used to like designing shoes in school. Like I would design basketball shoes,
Really?
football
Sweet.
shoes. I would just doodle them.
Okay.
And when it came to me having to decide what I want to do with my life, I wanted to be a footwear designer. But because of my lack
You
of
look like a footwear designer. Yeah, we dope.
because of my lack of knowledge back then, I was like, it's too effeminate.
It's too what?
It's too effeminate.
Ah.
Like I'd have to go to fashion school. My guy friends are gonna make fun of me. It was a stupid way of thinking back then. It was before the whole wave of feminism, which I support, which basically opens your mind to the kind of misogyny that exists in our world today.
Yeah.
So that prevented me from going to a fashion school to learn.
If you had the opportunity to go to fashion
If
school,
I
would
knew
you?
now,
Would
if I
you?
knew now, no.
Okay.
Because there are people who are more talented and who've spent more time in it. If I knew now, if during this era of feminism and like guys like us knowing what it means, and if I was 18 years old and if I had the choice, then yes,
You would do it.
I would do it.
Okay.
So I
you
finally
skipped
decided,
you skipped these meetups, and then on that day
I finally
you
decided to go for this one.
Okay.
I was like, I like shoes, I like photography, let's see how it goes. And so we go there and I'm like, what happens in an Insta meet? They're like, you need to take pictures, incorporate shoes because that's the brand that's paying for all of this, paying for this experience.
Yeah.
Just try to make sure that you take pictures of shoes and people. I'm like, who do I shoot? They're like, your fellow Instagrammers.
Okay.
And I'm like, so I can just ask them to do something for me and take a picture? They're like, yeah. So that was the first time that
You're actually asking,
I experienced the joy of photography, of going up to a stranger and be like, hey, can I take your picture? And they'll be like, me? I'm like, and they'll be like, why? I'm like, because I like your outfit. I like, the light's good. Do you want to? And all of them said yes. So, and I really love that process. And from that day onwards, every weekend.
I heard you say that a couple of times. I think in a couple of stuff I saw on you online. You liked the fact when you had the freedom or the opportunity to take a picture to somebody.
Yeah.
That means a lot to you.
I think it is a very personal, intimate moment when someone gives you their consent to take their picture.
Right, but it's nice. I'm not sure if all photographers feel that way. But it's kind of nice that you say that, because I think there is something here.
Yeah.
That consent is.
Of course, not to say that I don't take street pictures which is not very consent-y, but I make sure that it doesn't put anyone in a situation or in a position that they don't want to see themselves in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like that look of, it's like they want to look good, but they look vulnerable, and there's so much emotion.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Yeah. Okay, so that day somehow changed your life?
Changed my life, yes. Because that was what opened out how photography works.
From that day on, you would say that things started to
change, because from that weekend on, when there would be Instamis, 6 a.m. there at Creekside.
You're there.
I'm there.
Okay.
I told my Lebanese friends I'm not coming. I have a photo walk to go to. I became one of those.
Start not showing up to the night parties, showing up at 6 a.m.
And my parents were happy.
Of course, yeah.
They're like, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Look, personally, for example, for me, I like when you take portraits. I don't like to label people, man. Like I think you're free to do whatever you want. But when you take those portraits for people, to each photographer, definitely their style. But what is it like? How are you able to put that person in that state? Like, what goes to your mind creatively? Like, is there a process, or is just you let them be on their own?
It depends. So for some people, you really have to direct them, make them feel at ease, to get what you want.
Yeah.
But I think some of my favorite photos are when I go up to them and I don't say a word.
Okay.
And they don't know what I'm thinking. And so then they're trying to... Nobody knows what's happening. Even I don't know what's happening.
I love that.
So everyone's in a state of like, and if I see
would you say these are the photos that show up to be the better ones?
Those are the ones that I like.
That you like.
That I really like. But also the staged ones and where people are... The thing with me is, and this is a problem that I have, is that I don't really have a clear-cut vision of what I want and how I want something to be. I'm very like, let's go, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
The problem with that now is I want to grow as a photographer. I want to grow as a person, as an artist, so to speak. So I'm like, how do I take it to the next level? And the next level will probably be more staged, more photography that has a meaning.
I'm just trying to challenge you. Do you think so? Again, I'm not talking from... I'm the least creative person ever. But do you think it has to be much more staged, much more
I wouldn't say staged, but I would... why I've taken a sort of break from shooting the way I usually shoot, which is like call up someone and be like, hey, let's go walk around and shoot, is I want there to be more meaning to what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, in a way, I've started to implement that on my feed or the pictures that I take, where I've stopped shooting white people because they have enough representation.
Oh, that's so powerful.
So I'm like, okay, let's shoot Arab girls, let's shoot Arab men, let's shoot Indian girls. Yeah. So I would rather, like, in any little way that
culture means a lot to you. And I know
it does.
I know that. I've sensed that. There was a couple of things that happened. With the Waleed Shah, and shout out to Waleed.
Shout out Waleed.
And it's. I mean, this dialogue was really good, and shout out to Dukan for making that dialogue at that time. And it was nice that we get to talk about it. Like,
I think it's important, and I know that you are also think the same way, because I was listening.
We don't have people telling our story. We have other people telling our story.
Yeah, and I was also listening to like your buckle up with Mo Flow, and you were talking about the Kendrick Lamar incident.
Yes.
With the N-word.
Yeah.
And the justification that people give is that, Middle East, this is not how for us it's adi, like we just use it, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah.
But that's not an excuse, and this is what I've learned from my trip to America, and like to meeting people like Ashley and people who actually take the time to explain to you why something is wrong. So like, again, even with feminism, I was like, I'm not a feminist, fuck that, like there's no way. But when you have people explain to you, and then you read more about it, and you understand why people say, when they say men are trash, they don't mean all men. You know, if you get offended, then there's a problem. It's
Of
obviously
course.
not. So with the N-word, for example, just don't say it.
Yeah.
It's not for you to say
It's
it.
not for you to say it.
If Kendrick raps about it in his song,
Yeah.
then that's his prerogative. He can use it.
Yeah,
You-
I mean, this
even-
is what at that point, because that track contained a lot of N-word apparently, and she was a fan. But you know, I wouldn't even feel comfortable at all, even like getting on stage.
The thing is,
I think that the topic at that time was because she's a fan, she's not used to, you know, like for example, if you want to say shit, you would say ish.
in the moment.
So in the moment, she said that, and then but I liked what he did because he put it was viral for a second because it's Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yeah.
And he just made it a point. I
Yeah,
think
he-
sometimes you need to provoke, which brings me to my next. Are you with? I mean, again, you know, shout out to Waleed Shah and all the photographers out there. Sometimes do you need to provoke people in order to gain a following and then direct them in what you think, or that's not the way you like to work?
I don't think it's about provoking. So the reason I speak out about a lot of these issues is because I understand the mentality of the people who still don't know yet.
Because you used to
Because
be like that.
I used to be exactly like that. I used to say the N-word. I used to be,
Got it.
I used to, like, deep-heartedly, I'd say, I'm not a feminist. There's no way I'd be a feminist. I used to not think about these things because I'm like, fuck it doesn't matter to me. Like, this is not how I was brought up. This is my thinking, and my thinking is right. But I think that's wrong because there's so much literature, there's so much that people are talking about online that you need to open your horizon and
Right.
say, okay, I need to be sensitive to other people. If my work can offend someone, I'm not going to be okay with it.
Interesting.
And with the talk with Waleed, he's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep making
I know,
these mistakes.
he said that.
He's like, I'm going to keep making these mistakes. And
Will
then
he?
I will one day, I don't see, and Waleed knows, I've spoken to him for an hour and a half, 2 hours on Instagram,
I know, yeah.
explaining to him,
You
but
guys spoke before and after, I believe.
before and after, like, we're still pals.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't agree with his ways.
I
And
know
his
he showed
methods
up
and
to
his
you, a
thinking.
workshop that you did the next day or something like that. Yeah.
So I don't agree to the way some people
Yeah.
think, but that doesn't mean I hate them.
Yeah, true. No, the only thing, what you said,
and I want to
go
say
ahead.
with that what he said, I'm going to continue making mistakes, and I will learn from them. That was an analogy that I came up with is you're on Sheikh Zayed Road.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to switch a lane, you're going to switch another lane, and then you're going to switch this lane. What's happening behind you are people are crashing and getting hurt. And all I'm telling you is, Big Has, put on your indicator. Put on your indicator. That's it.
Put up my indicator.
So
True that.
so similarly, don't be like, I'm going to make these mistakes and then I will learn. You're hurting people in the back. Learn and then make sure you don't make any mistake.
Wow.
Doesn't mean that you
Yeah.
shouldn't go out and shoot more. You shouldn't do. But
what he meant, I think, was different kind of mistakes. So it's like if that was a mistake,
Yeah.
you'll do another mistake, and so on. But I see what you're saying. My question to you, and it's a yes or no: would you ever do something that will provoke people just to get more followers? Because this is
No.
look, I worked
No.
So I worked in radio, and I know that some radio hosts would do something controversial just to get followers.
No, I'm against
They would go 1 million follower, and then they would start preaching good.
No, I'm against that.
Okay.
I'm against that because I have a lot of people that come up to me like, yo, you should have at least 100,000 followers. How come you're still on 27? I'm like, look, mine is organic and
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way it's
Yeah,
grown.
I know. You talked a lot about that, and I see it's organic. It's a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
What people are missing out, my brother, man, is engagement. For me, is so important.
Yeah.
The amount of engagement you get on
Yeah.
your photos, on mashallah, when people message you, your DMs and stuff like that, when you post a picture, it's incredible. What was the picture that you posted that really people with, like, you saw a lot of feedback, whether on a story or because sometimes when you repost other people posting.
Yeah, I think two pictures for me stand out. Which one is the old man in Morocco.
Of course, yeah.
That for me, when I was taking the pictures.
When was that taken? What, like
right outside his house.
when was like a year?
When? A year ago.
A year ago, yeah.
So when I was taking those pictures with the light, with the connection that we had, because he invited me to his house.
Yeah.
He gave me coffee. I was playing with his grandchild. We smoked something.
I know.
And so when we were taking that picture, like I had goosebumps the whole time. And then when I put it up like this is incredible. And I didn't know if people were gonna react to it the same way, but it did. It did.
Why do you think people reacted that way?
Because I think there is something to it. There is a soul to it. It's real. Like I didn't tell him what to do. I didn't tell him how to stand. I was just like, can I take your photo? Sawar.
And
he just
language
stood there.
barrier with you doesn't, you know, we'll talk about the other picture, but language barrier, I feel sometimes, is it a barrier actually, or the adi? Because, you know, some people don't speak English.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem with you at all.
No,
right?
no, not at all. I think as a photographer, I like to travel a lot, and
Yes.
when you travel, like I went to Italy. Italy was a bit of a language barrier because you couldn't understand anything people were talking. But when you have a camera and you have a nice demeanor and you're just friendly,
Yeah.
and you don't look creepy, then everyone just opens up.
Yeah.
It's just nice.
What's the second picture?
The picture of the Kaaba with the hands.
Oh man,
That blew out.
how is it, man? You know, how is it when you visited? You've been there before, or what?
Yeah,
was
I've been
that?
there like many times because I lived in Saudi for 3 years,
Where? Jeddah, Riyadh.
Jeddah and Riyadh. But
Jeddah.
I was young. I was between the ages of 5 to 7.
Did you
So it
eat bake
doesn't-
at that time?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Bake is
Okay, sweet.
So
طيب.
bake is legendary.
What does, I mean, taking pictures of the Kaaba, man, what does that mean to you? Because, man, for me, I've seen people, and I was with people, when they first came to Saudi, and the first thing they see was the Kaaba. I had a friend of mine who actually came to, he's American, converted to Islam, and then he told me, brother, when I come to the airport, I want you to blindfold me. I don't want to see anything except the Kaaba. And man, that's what I did. So he came in, I blindfolded him. When he came to the airport, he didn't see anything. He sat down, we went to Mecca, and we were standing in front of the Kaaba, and he's like, okay, now. And yeah, man, it just gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. And he saw the Kaaba, man, he started crying. And
Yeah.
he looked up, and it was really, yeah, something.
It is
But,
something.
yeah.
It is something.
I think, can a picture really convey what we feel as Muslim when you look at the Kaaba? Or what do you think?
you can only try, right?
Yeah.
You can only try, and that's what I try to do with photography.
Yeah.
I try to bring out the mood that is
you're in at
present.
that point.
That is yeah. I mean, obviously, if I was allowed to take my camera, you could have had a more high def picture, but I had to take it with my phone.
Yeah. Would you want to take pictures of the Kaaba, like professionally like that?
I'd love to, yeah, of course. I mean,
Hey, if I make that happen, would it be cool?
yeah,
I want to make that happen.
yeah.
Yeah, because I know the people there are responsible for the media and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And,
yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love
Okay. Cool. I think that would be nice.
That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be
a
dope.
good experience.
But what I loved about the last time that I went, it was earlier this year, was that
I know you took pictures of the people I saw around.
people praying and stuff, and people doing the tawaf.
Yeah.
So many people are on their cell phones, like selfieing, FaceTiming with their loved ones.
Wow.
And I thought that was beautiful. Like
That was.
I was like, you know, like, oh look, I'm here. At
Yeah.
the same time, you're like, oh, you're not in the moment because you're not fully present in your devotion to.
Yeah.
But whatever works for people, you know.
Yeah, but you're right. But I mean, for people who don't know, some of these people, it's very hard for them to come to Saudi.
Yeah.
It takes them years to save
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Yeah.
easy to come. It's not like Mecca was 45 minutes away from my house. I take it for granted sometimes. I
Yeah.
wish I could
Yeah.
even went more.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is a little bit شوية on the spot. So you're a person who, you know, you have your own faith, which is, you know, you follow your faith, and which is respectable, and I see that. But how do you balance, you know, that party lifestyle with that? If you want to take pictures with this and that, or that's fine. Like if there's a certain balance. You know what I'm going with?
Yeah. For me, with my faith, so to speak, I think it's very personal.
It's between you and Allah.
It's between me and Allah, and also like I'm respectful of my family's image, and which includes and because like Arabs, Indians are also very. When you add Islam to it, it becomes a very big mix of like, oh, you cannot like bring our name down, and you cannot, because I still have a few relatives that are like, oh, yeah, this guy's just taking pictures of girls and me, like, you know, haram.
I mean, me, I like that. No, but I mean, initially, this is what I meant with the question, because I'm sure you'll have people around, even you know, close to your family, that would say.
No, the thing is, being a photographer, when you start out and you see a dime a dozen photographers in Dubai now, it's easy to be labeled a creep.
Why? Because
like,
I mean, bad people are presenting photography. That's
yes.
what you mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen the worst of people. Like outside New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, when I would shoot street style, just the way these men would talk, like, oh yeah, turn for me, sweetheart. Like, yeah, show me. Yeah, turn around. And I'm like,
but that's terrible.
That's terrible. And so even in Dubai, there are people who get into photography because they know that is one step closer to getting closer to girls. for example. Now you don't
Really?
have. Yeah, for sure. Like
Huh.
being a photographer, like if you're good at it, then you have access to any girl like who wants to take a photo. Now it's up to you to maintain the decency.
Yeah.
To not be a creep, which is not easy because I think a lot of people misuse it. And
Very good point.
And a lot of girls then would feel horrible about shooting with a male photographer.
Did you ever talk to somebody about that and they tell you this is sometimes what I feel?
I know of people who've had unwanted
Okay.
what's the word, approaches when they were being shot by a photographer.
Really?
Like you know, they want to do like bedroom shoots and they want to do like
That's terrible.
lingerie stuff.
But man, yeah.
You know, so for me, that is where it's important, where my culture and my family upbringing comes down. I cannot go down that path because there are people doing it. There are people doing it tastefully, but I, that's something that I would not do.
But man, what you're saying, oh wow, this is like, okay. So principles for you is very important.
It's important.
And we're not just saying that on the camera. I feel that, you know, with you, like really you believe in principle.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't do something that will jeopardize that to get you more fame.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Because let's just face it, man.
Fame is not important.
I know it's relative. For me, it's very relative because I think if someone would look at you right now, I don't think there's anyone who's creative in Dubai at least that wouldn't know مثلا your example you name. I'm sure about that. The people you associate yourself with, there's a certain movement, there's a certain culture that you're with. You're able to prove yourself. You know, you worked with so many brands, alhamdulillah, and you're still, you know, there. So I think it's just a matter, but it's a very important point that you say. If that's the case, what would you say to upcomers, you know, photographers that fall into that? When I say fall, because I know a couple that are young ones that fall into that trap. What do you tell them?
I mean,
I'm talking about the fact that they would do something against their principles just to get famous.
I mean, to each their own, right? Like, I can't be telling them this is the right way to do it because their circumstances might be different from mine. Like, my mother to this day is like, why are you shooting girls? Like, why don't you shoot the Burj Khalifa like your friend Altamash ALJVD shouts out? Mosques, scenery, shoot these kind of things. But she doesn't know that for me, shooting people is what gets me going. Like, it's what I love doing.
Yeah, there's a certain emotion out of it.
Like when I shoot products or when I shoot landscape, unless it's incredibly beautiful, which I like to do when I travel, just landscape photography and stuff doesn't excite me because anyone can do it. If anyone has a good enough camera, has the same editing technique, and then can stand at the exact spot and click it because it's not moving, I'm like, if anyone can do it, I don't want to do it. So that is where I'm stuck now, even with my videos. Because I used to make a lot of videos, but now I see so many videographers coming up and coming. Good for them. But I look at their work and it's all the same. Like, it's travel videos where it's like a hand comes out and you're reaching out to the Burj Khalifa, or you're like touching sand and grains of sand are falling, and there's a bird flying. It's all the same.
All the same
There's
concept.
so much content. For me, I'm like, okay, how can I have more meaning to my work? And that's why I'm kind of like in a limbo now, which is good. I'm not beating myself up over it.
When you say limbo, like that's like you're stuck, you feel?
I'm not stuck.
Like
I'm
a
waiting.
writer block for a rapper,
I'm waiting.
for example?
No, I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting this period.
You know your
now.
next move?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But that's the thing. For me, everything right from the time I started has been like, it just happens. It's just been happening and I'm going with the flow.
And you want to
making
still keep
sure
it that
that
way.
I stick to my principles and I stick to my morals and I go with it. If there's an opportunity that presents itself, like, yo, we want to fly you to Tanzania tomorrow, it's not part of my plan, I'll go. You know, because the opportunity presented itself, and I'm a big believer in whatever you call it, fate, destiny, manifestation. Yeah, so now I know that this, for me, the way that I feel, because of the people that I've met, and I'm very, very grateful for the community that we have in Dubai, and I tell this to everyone. Like,
it's a special community, man.
What
a community.
Like every other day when I go home at night, I park my car, put it in park, and I'm like, that was a good day. And I was like, why was it a good day? I was like, because of the people.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel
like,
genuine
see,
love,
you and me
man.
are the
Look,
same.
yeah,
you always
look,
get goosebumps.
Yeah, look.
You know, I've seen in all your...
no, seriously, it's real.
Goosebumps.
I'm not, and this is where you see
I'm just like that. I always get goosebumps.
No, it's the reality, right? Because I see the love, I see the loyalty, I see the passion between you guys. It's
and I learned so much from people like Shab and Chindi, and
they said the same thing about you.
Exactly.
You know? So it was really cool to hear that and see that, because sometimes Shindi, I think, was saying we give him client, he gives a client,
and there's always like, okay,
is that right?
Yeah, this is what we've learned. This is what we've learned. Like, we're like, okay, we work with this client sucks. Don't work with them if they come up to you. They're a piece of shit. No.
Okay.
A lot of shitty clients that try to put you down.
Man.
So for us, like for me, and that's why I'm in a limbo, because now I've met a lot of artists who've studied art, who've gone to art school. And when I look at the way they think and their plans and their visions, and they're like, we want to make a photography mean something. There has to be something more to it than just like I'm taking pictures for Instagram, which is why I'm stuck now, because taking pictures for Instagram and making videos for Instagram has brought me to where I am now.
Okay.
And now I want to take it to the next level, make it more meaningful, while at the same time not discarding Instagram, because I never will discard social media, because it made me who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do I integrate both worlds, like the art world and the social media world, and make something more meaningful that I can look back and say, okay, this wasn't just me and like a girl walking around the street and it's beautiful pictures, but it stands for something. If there's something more to it.
Did you ever reject a client?
Yeah, so many times. I mean, now.
Okay.
When I started out, no.
Is there like part of reasons, for example? I'm not talking like budget, but I'm just saying principle-wise, like you don't.
Yeah, alcohol companies.
You don't shoot.
No.
At all.
I don't shoot for them, or I don't. They wanted to fly me to Italy, this beer company, and I was like, I can't.
Playing devil advocate. Why? Like for example.
Not that I mind.
Yeah.
But my parents will.
Okay.
And I don't want to rub them the wrong way, because like they've given me all the liberties that I had growing up, and yes, is this the ideal son that they see for themselves? No, because at the same time they have to hear from X, Y, and Z auntie like, oh, this boy's not married, he's 28, he's taking pictures of girls, like he's gonna look, so my parents are always stressed out. They're like, please just get married, please just get married.
Don't be stressed out, fam. I mean, he's a great dude. So I'm just saying.
So I just want them to know that.
No, seriously. Okay, let me just say that. I mean, I bump into you, every now and then, but I follow you, and every time I see you, every single time I see you, you're always humble, real, very akhlaq aliyah, and nice, great manners. So I think, I'm sure they're proud, but I see also where they're. I see where they come, and it's amazing that you stick to your principles that way. So you do say no. I
do say no. A lot of times, also now is for the budget.
Okay.
Like if you don't.
How does that budget thing work? I'm very interested to know, because some people would say no budget. What does that mean? And I come also from the background when it comes to music. If you're a local artist, come for the exposure.
Look, for me, I was spoiled.
Okay.
From the start of my career, I wouldn't say spoiled. I was so freaking lucky to have worked with a company as big as Adidas.
Big up.
Naomi and Samina.
Shout out to Naomi. Samina,
we used to work. I mean, I owe them so much. They had the belief in me when I was starting out. So I just quit my job. Soul 2016 was about to happen.
Yeah.
And Naomi hits me up. She's like,
sweet.
Gibbs, I want you to shoot. Stormzy is coming. And I was the biggest Stormzy fan at that point. I
saw that.
and so I flipped. I was like, holy shit, I would have done it for free. But
yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I'm a business guy. I ran a business for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So I told Naomi, like, I know you don't have a budget, but Nike's hit me up. And if they have a budget, then I have to say yes to Nike. Nike did hit me up, but Nike told me they don't have a budget.
Okay.
But I didn't tell that to Naomi. Sorry if you're watching this, Naomi, but it's business.
No, I get it.
So I told Naomi, I'm like, so if Nike says yes, then I'll have to say yes to them.
Yeah, of course.
When in reality, both of them said they didn't have a budget, which I think is BS. If a company comes to you and says, can you create content for us? We don't have a budget. No, because this is my job. It's not someone who's just coming and taking pictures with a camera.
Do you get, maybe with the word, the stuff here, do you get mad at photographers who say yes at these opportunities?
No, because everyone's path is different.
No, but don't you think they're also messing with photographers? Because at the end of the day, that company may be short-sighted, would only look for content. You want to look for maybe the best content or whatever.
What happens a lot of times is these companies that come, we don't have a budget, we can't match your budget.
Yes.
Can you do it for this much? And I would say no, because it doesn't make sense. So, for example, if it is a company that I really fuck with and I want to be a part of whatever they're doing, I will do it for much less than I usually do it.
Okay.
Because I want to support the culture, I want to be a part of it. But if it's something that I don't really want to do and they benefit out of it, then I'm like, pay me what I want. Pay me, this is what's going to make me happy. This is what I value my work at. And a lot of times they don't value your work. So what happens is they would take someone else who would charge 30% of what you charge.
Yeah.
and they get their images, but they wouldn't be happy, and then they come back to you
And
for the
they come
next
back,
one and
yeah.
be like, hey.
How is Stormzy?
Stormzy was chill. He was really nice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make it seem like we're friends or anything, but I got to hang out with him for
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
backstage.
That was dope.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure if you go to him and be like, hey, do you know Gibbs? He'd be like, fuck no, I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
it was dope.
it was nice to meet him at the beginning.
Okay. Last thing I want to talk to you about this project that you did. Was it the Hijri project?
9 Hijri?
Hijri?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Because I think that was really cool. I mean, it was featured in Dubai Mall, your work.
So there were two aspects to it. One was 9 Hijri was a Ramadan pop-up sort of a thing in Dubai Mall. And I created videos for Dubai Mall with the whole, like, about the pop-up.
Okay.
But also, they gave me a space in the film category saying, we want to showcase your film. The videos that you've made.
Wow.
Just showcasing talent from the region, Middle Eastern or Islamic, because it has to be connected to Ramadan. And so, yeah,
But how did it feel that your work was in one of the biggest malls in the world, if not the biggest? I
These
guess?
are the things that blow my mind away in terms of how quickly things happen. So this happened. So when people ask me, what is your dream 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah.
Now, when I just started out, if you told me like within 5 years, you could have your videos and your pictures displayed in the biggest mall in the world.
Say no way.
And say, get out of here. You know, it doesn't. You're lying. So when things like this happened 1 year after I quit my job. I just took out the whole notion of like what is next out, because you can't.
Do you feel that
comprehend.
your growth became a bit fast? Well,
I think it was way faster than.
Okay, like a rocket.
Yeah, it was.
Which
it
is,
was
I think, good.
insane.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah,
But does that
of course.
scare you a bit? Like between you and yourself, you go like, oh wow, I did this, I did that.
No, like when I look back at 2017, I was doing so much.
2017 was your year.
Was my year.
For sure.
Like just the things that happened.
Yeah.
Just so many things that happened.
Yeah.
I got to see my idol James Blake live.
Wow.
I want to tell you the story because it's music related.
Yeah.
So James Blake,
of course,
is my everything when it comes to my photos and my videos.
Nice.
I edit my photography and my videos, mainly listening to James Blake. And
Makes a difference.
Back in 2017 when I would edit, now I've like diversified because my friends are like, "Khalas, it's been 6 years, like move on," and he hasn't dropped another album yet.
James.
But if I'd edit a picture and I wouldn't like the way it looked, the colors, it would be because I wasn't listening to James Blake, and then I put it on and try again. And
really?
If you look at
That's a big statement.
Yeah. If you look at the 1,000+ photos posts on my Instagram, every single one of them is either pictures that I've taken, videos that I've taken, or a picture that I'm in. Except for one, back in 2014, I put a picture of Overgrown, his album, and I'm like, I cannot explain to you how much this guy means to me. His music is everything. Like, it's just everything. And so
why?
every time,
What is it about his music that you connect to?
Just how do I explain this? Like, I'm a very emotional person. Like, I can cry very easily. Like, if there's something that happens, like past relationships, problems with family, anything, like music helps me get through it, and I like to like let that release. And I feel like a lot of that emotion James Blake captures more than anyone else.
Nice.
And it opens my mind out creatively when I listen to his music. I'm like, and for me, music is my biggest inspiration when it comes to making photos and videos. Always.
Love that.
So the way, and a lot of my videos and a lot of my pictures, the way it comes out is I'll be driving, listening to a song, and it's also kind of the fact that I haven't had the experience of going to art school and knowing what it's about. So I feel like my inspiration comes from these musicians who sing about something.
Artists out there, I'm telling you, you inspire.
For real,
people like that, man.
So
keep
like
working.
with like they're poets. Musicians are poets. Like,
of
with
course.
the words,
with
the integration of different sounds, it just opens my mind, and I see things visually when I listen to music.
Yeah.
And so for James Blake, every time I travel, I would look, is he performing? Is he performing? And he wasn't performing anyway. So when I went to America, he wasn't performing.
Man.
And I was like, shit. And so I was in LA one day just waiting, just lying down, and I was scrolling through Instagram, and James Blake posted that he's going to be playing in New York. One night only, solo piano concert, Lincoln Jazz Theater.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And this was 4 hours ago. I hadn't seen it. I looked for tickets, sold out. And it was the same date that I was going to be in New York.
Wow.
So my friend was like, no, there's this other website that resells these tickets. You should really look at it. and the ticket that was going for $100 was going for $400.
Oh, okay.
I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I am going for this.
And you did.
100%. Front row center.
Oh, wow.
So I'm here and James Blake is like literally 50 feet away. Not 50.
How did that feel?
But before that happened, we're waiting for him to come, and guess who walks in and sits like 3 seats away from me? And keep in mind, 2 days before this, I shot a friend of mine in New York hooked me up with a shoot for the Harper's Bazaar gala event, where I saw everyone from 21 Savage to Kim Kardashian to Nicki Minaj to the whole A-list celebrity of Hollywood. I was right next to them and I was moving around because I had the all access media pit. So I'd seen all of them. You know Jim Carrey when he kind of had this meltdown and he was like, "We're not here, are you here?"
Yes.
It was in front of me.
Really?
I was there.
Oh, wow.
So I'd seen all of these celebrities 2 days ago, and I realized this with like
that's crazy.
Celebrities in general, everyone is just people. Like I have, I don't mean to brag, but I have some kids who come up to me and be like, "Oh my God, like I love your work," and I'd see them shaking. I'm like, but I'm a normal guy. Like I'm just so with all celebrities, I just know that they're just normal people who made it big, who, you know, and the good ones are the ones that stay humble and they acknowledge the fact that they're lucky. Like, okay, they were blessed with the talent and they're lucky to be there.
I still want to know who came. Third row.
First row.
For your
three
first row?
seats away.
Okay.
She looked at me and smiled.
Huh?
And my heart just exploded. My heart was pounding. And I'm not even the biggest fan of them per se.
Okay.
It was Jay-Z and Beyonce.
What?
3 seats away from me.
Wow.
I'm looking at my childhood, my idol, James Blake, listening to it next to Beyonce.
What?
For an hour and a half.
You guys made eye contact?
Yeah.
God.
She
tried to do that with Shaq when I went to the NBA, bro. You should see that. I'll tell you that story quickly.
Tell me.
So I went to the US for the first time about 7-8 years ago, and Shaq is also someone I look up to. So I got a ticket. He was playing in Boston. So Boston versus man, it was a funny story. Boston versus New York. I got a ticket, went there, and bro, Shaq wasn't playing that day. He was in a suit, and you know, I'm there, and I'm like screaming in the middle, like, "Shaq, I came all the way from Saudi Arabia." And my friend was like, "Don't say Saudi Arabia, like we're in New York." I can't say it, man. He didn't listen. And at one point, man, it was like halftime or so. I came really down. I saw Whoopi Goldberg. I saw, there was other celebrities. But anyway, we made like a slow motion. We made the eye contact. It was like that. He looked at me. No, but man, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah,
wow.
That was something. That's why I said 2017 was an incredible year. 2018 cannot live up to that.
Oof. How is 2018 going so far?
Good, but it's also like I said, I'm in that limbo where I'm trying to figure out what the next step is. I'm waiting for myself to decide and know, and like it just comes to me. I'm not trying to force it.
Yeah, okay, this guy is incredible. I told him I want to do like 15-20 minutes, and then now we start talking. And it's I think there's a certain vibe to you that I respect. You have that. I don't know what it is, man, but it's like people respect you. There's a reason for that, man, because you're principled man, humble man, very creative, very talented, and I think honest.
Thanks, man.
Like straight to the point, and that I think makes a huge difference in how people deal with you.
You're always full of compliments, though.
No, seriously, it's. I mean, I wouldn't get. It's. You're right. No, I am. But
I'm not saying this that you're full of compliments to everyone. But to me, every time that I've met you,
it's true. Every time
you've been nothing but nice, and I think
it's incredible. Like I look again. I mean, you know, shout out to all the creatives. You know, shout out to you, Azarel. Shout out to everybody. You know, that is creating, because it's something I lack. Right, I'm good at this, talking here and there. But I mean, what you guys do, is inspiring.
But I want to tell you that like you are very instrumental in the way that you compliment young talent, and when you go to these creatives and you tell them, I think you push them beyond what they're capable of or beyond what they want to do.
It's my duty, man. I think it's my job.
When you do that, I remember when you used to come up to me and tell me like every now and then, like, I love your shit. I'm like, fuck, like am I really that good? And hearing these affirmations from other people, and especially you, and I think you do that to all the creatives. It just pushes them, and so thank you for that.
That means a lot to
honestly,
me.
Thank you.
That means the whole world to me.
And this, what you're
you just
doing
said
with
right
this
now.
with this whole buckle up thing.
Yeah, it's been good, man.
It is amazing because you are documenting what people in this region are doing, and you're speaking to them and giving them the opportunity and giving other people the opportunity to learn from these creatives and to learn how people think. Because this is one of the things that helped me. 2017, all of 2017, I would only listen to motivational stuff on YouTube, and I would listen to people who were successful and who made it. How do they think? What did they do? What is it that they?
And to each one,
and from different fields, different
and
fields.
to each one has their own story. Like if you look at your own story, like other people's story, everyone has something different.
And what I've realized from the ones that speak about how they got there, those are the things that I try to embody, which is always be grateful, always be humble, always work hard. I'm like, if the top people in the cinema industry and UFC and if they all say this, UFC, Conor McGregor used to be my favorite, but now
is it true that he? we'll talk
so
about.
Disappointed.
Is it true that he somehow inspired you to get into? Conor McGregor, his story.
Conor McGregor, his story, because he was a plumber and then he was like he focused and now he's at the top of his game, and unfortunately he didn't remain humble because he made $100 million in one fight.
You watched that fight? I know you watched that fight.
I'm very disappointed with the fact that, like, apart from David Beckham, who was my idol back when I was growing up, for like 15 years I had no
once I just gotta say this. That's what I love about Buckle Up. I was just ready to end it, and then this is what I love about Buckle Up. But man, I mean, you like David Beckham.
I used to love David Beckham, and the point is, after David Beckham, I had no idol growing up, and then when I saw Conor McGregor, I was like, holy shit,
that's the dude.
This is my guy. But now he's just completely lost it. So
was it because of the recent fight, or
no? It's just his attitude and the way he's like, fuck everyone else. Like, I have all the money.
But let's just talk that. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Tell me
about the fight and how he came about.
Which one, Khabib?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, especially I have friends from Ireland and Britain, Western friends, and they said, "See, this is why Islam is terrible." Blah blah. And we started talking like religion started getting into it, and Twitter was going crazy that morning. So what? I mean, he was putting alcohol in front of the guy, and this is not respectful, no?
Yeah, no. Look, see, Conor does anything to sell a fight.
No, but is that excusable?
He pushed his limits. Conor pushed his boundaries.
I know it's entertainment, but man, the guy,
Conor shouldn't have done the things he did in terms with the alcohol, talking about his family.
Dad,
so he got his ass whooped. And everyone knew that he would get his ass whooped because Khabib is a monster. But what Conor did to sell his fight just gave Khabib more ammunition, so to speak, to make sure that he punishes this guy. And if you see footage, like between one of the rounds, when Conor was getting mauled, between the rounds, Conor was like, "Hey, it's just business, man. Hey, it's just business."
Really?
Yeah. And Khabib was like, "What? Say what?" And then he literally...
Wow. I didn't see it. It's just business?
Man,
no, but that's the thing.
I really wish that... you can't change what happened, but I really wish that Khabib hadn't jumped out of the fight.
Everyone
he would have just shook his hand and be like, okay. He would have been the legend, the best, all-time greatest, the best man. But emotions get to people,
get to you.
I wish it hadn't happened, because then people are like, this is Islam. It's not.
It's not.
Because then you can be like, okay, Islam is also what Khabib did up to the fight till the moment where he slipped, where he just remained. He's like, I will show you, and they say I'm not going to talk shit.
It's interesting how people only take the negatives out of a certain culture.
Always.
It's always like that. And even if you see the bad people who are out there, they're a minority of what Islam is. What? We're Muslim people are like 1 billion people.
Yeah.
So if 2-3 million, if even 100,000 people or 1 million of those people, it's so more percentage of that. Well, man, I just want to say thank you for your time, brother, man.
Of course, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Always with you. Your Instagram, Gib, is a short of what? Or what is it?
Gibster G.
Yeah.
I wanted Gibster. I didn't want Gibster G.
The G.
The G just happened because I couldn't get Gibster.
Who has Gibster?
This 14-year-old black girl. And she won't give it to me.
And
I've asked her so many times.
Oh, you spoke to her?
Yeah. I'm like, I'll pay you for it, please.
Yo, girl, come on, make it.
But now I think it's just become a brand name that I can't change now.
So it's Gibster G. I thought he wants to be a rapper, that dude.
No, man.
Gibster G, babe.
Yeah, so
because I know you like gangster rap.
So growing up, I used to rap a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it now
Why not?
because I have.
If there's any way you could do it, Buckle Up is the spot.
No, I've seen Shab and Chindis and I saw how hard they failed, and they rap a lot. So I don't even rap a lot, so I'm not gonna do
I
it.
don't think they failed though. That was nice.
No, they were a lot better off camera.
Okay.
Is what I mean.
Okay.
Because they do it a lot, and I can't keep up. But back in the day, I thought I was the shit because I could rap and rhyme a lot. Because I used to write poetry also.
Okay.
But it all
Beautiful,
died.
nice.
It all died.
So if I ask you to, if I have an event now and I want you to recite poetry, would you do that?
Nah, man.
You don't write anymore.
I don't write anymore. I used to also open my school play with reciting verses from the Quran.
Wow. I like that.
But that's all gone. Looking back, you can connect the dots.
Yeah.
You know, the Steve Jobs, one of his most famous speeches at Stanford, where he talks about looking back and connecting the dots, which is for me that I never envisioned myself to be a creative. But now that I'm here, when I look back, I'm like, oh shit, I used to write poetry. I used to try and mix music. I used to be on virtual DJ all the time.
Man.
I used to design shoes. I used to rap. I used to, all of these things. I'm like, looking back, I'm like, oh, I was probably always meant to be a creative. But I never felt that until this happened.
I wouldn't end this episode better than this, what you just said, connecting the dots. Stay blessed, my brother.
Thank you so
Your
much.
social media is Gibsterg. If you don't know, then I don't know, you're somewhere under a rock. Follow this man, incredible dude. Thank you so much again for your
Thank you
time.
so much, Big House.
Buckle up. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're gonna figure out a way how to get back right now. I've been going straight all the way right now.
We're in Russell Khor now.
We're Russell Khor. Yalla. Peace, guys.
Bye.